Hi guys, I'm Craig and I'm going to be taking you today through the brand new domestic NVQ that's just been released. Really excited to be doing this. I'm the first one in the country to be doing this, so this is great. If you're considering the domestic NVQ, this is going to be absolute gold for you. And after watching this, if you want to get in touch with me, drop me a messenger or the address is electrical NVQ, the number 4U, as in you, at gmail.com. That'll be in the comments, all right? But tonight I'm just going to take you through this, guys. I'm going to take you through the units and the criteria just so you can see what's involved and see if this NVQ is right for you, okay? So bear with me while I just get set up and we shall go for it. Okay, here we are, the domestic NVQ. Here it is. Excited, muchly to be a part of this, okay? So what do you need to enroll? Level 2 diploma. I think the 239152, if you've got that as well, you'll be able to enroll, okay? But it's the level 2 diploma minimum, I think, for this one. 3 years experience, not including any training you've had. It's got to be 3 years experience, not including any time you've spent in college, okay? And the age is 19 plus. That's the minimum age, but they wouldn't expect anyone really under the age of 21. So what do we do first then, which is called the skill scan? So the form you will receive is the skill scan form. This gives your assessment team a great idea of where you are in terms of your skill and knowledge. It's a test of your technical knowledge and skills, all right? Please, before we go on, I'm going to be very clear on this. An NVQ isn't a teaching course. An NVQ is you saying you've got the skills, knowledge, and experience to be a domestic NVQ electrician. You're going to get assessed as such, and then we will decide if we agree or disagree with that statement, whether you need to go back and do some further learning if you don't quite become successful, whether we completely disagree and we think you're just trying to blag it, we'll find that out very quickly. Or if we think, yeah, we agree you've got the skills, knowledge, and experience, therefore we're going to put you on the NVQ, you're going to get through the NVQ, and that's going to be good for you, okay? So the skill scan does need to be completed before you're registered and before you are inducted. So the skill scan interview is the first thing. It's a recorded, documented interview, okay? So let's get straight into it then. What's involved in the units then? So Unit 001, health and safety. I mean, a health and safety unit is an NVQ. In an NVQ is pretty much what it is, right? We got risk assessments, method statements. Now, I know and you know that there's 5 people in a company or less, you don't need a risk assessment. However, this is an NVQ. They're going to want to know that you can use a risk assessment. So produce one. You know, it's got 5 steps to it. Just go onto the HSE website, get a template, make one for yourself if you don't use them. Method statements, you know, you're going to need to know the difference between risk assessments and method statements and any safe systems of work or permits of work that you use. Evidence of you working with your risk assessment, right? So for example, if you're drilling, you know, some goggles on, for example, okay? Unsafe conditions, so you're going to identify some hazards and some high-risk hazards, provide evidence of that. Handling tool safe, you know, tool checks, pat testing things, material safety, like COSH materials, paints, gases, glues. Have a little bit of a knowledge of what COSH is for. The correct PP for the jobs. You don't have to have like 5-point PP and be bulletproof, as long as your risk assessment, okay, as long as your risk assessment states your PP. But guys, work boots at the minimum. Any evidence with trainers from any provider on any NVQ will not be accepted, right? CDM regs 2015 state work boots minimum. Any site, domestic or commercial, when there's construction work going on of any kind, becomes a work site. So work boots minimum or it's going to get booted, all right? Storage of tools, you know, that's just while you're working. You know, how do you store your tools? You don't have them all over the floor, you have them in the corner. Manufacturer's instructions, provide some of that, just to show you understand it. And site warning signs. Site warning signs is quite a good one. Like, generally going to be in a domestic environment, but they do want you to know what the different signs mean. I say blue with a white background, mandatory, for example, right? What else we got? Barriers. So how do you prevent unauthorized people entering your workspace? How do you stop the customer, you know, sort of wandering in and messing things about? Access equipment, 2 from the following. So we've got 4 access equipments to choose from, and you've got to produce 2. So we've got ladders, Newport Tower, step ladder, or hop up. To be honest, guys, most of you step ladder, hop up, and then job done, right? And then to finish off, Environment Act. So we got to choose one to discuss twice or choose two to discuss once. So that basically means if we're having a discussion, we've got to cover this twice, but we could cover, for example, the Environmental Protection Act twice, and that would be done. Or we could have one chat and talk about Environmental Protection Act and the control of noise at work regulations. But these are all the ones to choose from. And you can cover one item twice or two items once. don't ask me why they've done it like that way, but they have, all right? And that's it. That's 001 finished. That's all health and safety done. Nice and easy, right? And depending on your training provider will be dependent on evidence. We prefer pictures and direct observation. We don't really accept write-ups anymore because of chatbots and things like that. So, but you know, job write-ups as well, don't really do them anymore. But again, it depends on your training provider, okay? Plan and oversee then the working environment. So this involves things like job plans and discussions, drawings, designs, floor plans. Look, you might not use these guys, but please remember it's an NVQ, so you might have to make one, get them. If you want a planning portal on your local environmental health, you'll have drawings and designs coming out of your ears, tons and tons of stuff on there. You can just put them onto your evidence, all right? Providing information to customers, site meetings, toolbox talks, chats with customers. Working with other people and problem solving, you know, how do you solve issues with other trades, things like that? How do you communicate face-to-face, WhatsApp, email, etc.? Customer services, guys, how do you deal with your customers? Some examples of emails to your customers, letters, text messages, WhatsApps, nice and polite, okay? Supervising others, this comes into it now. So you're going to be tested on your supervising skills. So, you know, if you're supervising, you want to know, are people competent to work for you? Can you give them a schedule of work? How do they understand the health and safety, and are they working cost effectively and in an environmental manner? Okay, so these are all the things to consider evidence-wise when we're looking at 003. Things to produce then, we're going to be looking for a program of work, just a basic, simple program of work, guys. Don't have to be a proper full-on Gantt chart. It can just be a nice, easy one. How you deal with and liaise with other trades. So just a couple of pictures of yourself talking to other trades, plumber, kitchen fitter, for example, plasterers, painters. I know no one talks to the painters, but give them a break, you know. Communication with others, again, kind of all rolls into one sometimes. Resolve issues and delays. How do you resolve issues with other trades? Deliveries. This is going to be like delivery notes and ensuring that the right delivery has come, and you just checking your delivery note and checking your materials. And how do you store your tools and materials on site? They're not going to be left all over the floor, for example. They're going to be in the corner. And that's it. Organize and oversee, done. Okay. Remember, all these, go back to the beginning, have got to be covered on two separate occasions. Okay. 001 will be done by observation. And that means two observations. One will be done on site by an assessor, or one has to be done on site by an assessor. The other one can be done remotely over something like Zoom, like I'm doing now, okay? But health and safety, only one of these has to be done on site. Organize and oversee, we're going to cover everything we've talked about twice. And 004, again, this will be split into probably two folders because we've got to cover this on two separate occasions. So the cables to choose from they've given us then, right? We've got to choose four, so we can do singles, multi-core insulated, i.e. flex, twin and earth, DC cable, so, you know, solar DC, steel wired armored, or FP200. So you've got to be installing four of those cables, okay? And then three of these containers. So this was a bit of a surprise to me, okay? However, we've got only four to choose from. So you've got PVC conduit, PVC trunking, but look, you've got to do cable basket or cable tray. I know this is going to be a big ask for all you domestic guys, right? But it might just be a case of you buying a length of basket and installing it in a loft somewhere. There's no way around it. The working group test of absolutely insisted on it. We all argued against it, just saying we only wanted the PVCs, but they want at least one of them. So you're gonna have to get a length of tray or a length of basket and do your best with it, okay? But three from them, okay? Accessories, massive unit, part of the unit. So you have to cover all of these. So no matter what, this is mandatory. So they want to see you doing a consumer unit, lighting, sockets, switches or isolators, and overcurrent devices, right? So consumer units and overcurrent devices will roll into one. This is not replacement either. It's not a maintenance NVQ. This is brand new install. So this is installing new, okay? So consumer unit, lights, sockets, switches, isolators, or overcurrent devices. Plus, You've also got to choose and install 4 of these. So you've got to choose from EV charger, smoke alarm, data socket, Wi-Fi router, smart camera or doorbell, smart lighting, smart heating, SOI plan heating systems or components thereof, and disposal of waste you have to do anyway, but 4 from them. Okay, so you've got 9 in total accessories you have to install. So it's quite big, but it's not that difficult really. Okay. That's that. That's all 4 done. Testing. You're going to be doing safe isolation. You're going to be doing diverted neutral current test. That's a new one. Risk assessment. Produce a risk assessment for your testing. Schedule of inspections, very important. Full test of circuits, including ZE and PFC. So it's a full test. And remember, it's on 2 occasions. So you're going to be doing this twice, okay? Electrical installation certificate, a minor work certificate, schedule of inspections, handover to the client, and calibration of tester. And you will also need to do a voltage drop calculation as well, okay? And fault finding, we got to fault find 3 of the following, okay? So we've got loss of supply, safe isolation obviously first, but loss of supply, overload, short circuit, earth fault, high resistance joint, component fault, and open circuit. So 3 from them using 3 of the following testers: volt indicator, low resistance ohmmeter, insulation resistance tester, RCD tester, ammeter, or other. So, for example, you could use a voltage indicator to detect a blown fuse, i.e. loss of supply, a low resistance ohmmeter to detect an open circuit, and an insulation resistance tester to detect a short circuit or earth fault. Okay, so that's kind of how that works, all right? And that is it, guys. That is the domestic NVQ. It's not that bad at all, to be honest with you. There's a fair bit of criteria in terms of the accessories, I think. Bit of a surprise with the tray or basket in there. That's just something we're all going to have to swallow, I'm afraid. However, that is my introduction to it. Obviously, more information will be given to you from your training provider. Maybe that'll be me, if you're lucky enough to work with me. No, I hope you are. We've got lots and lots of people working with us at the moment, and lots of happy people as well. So that's really good. But again, like, it's down to you. What does it give you? What's the point of it? There is a domestic gold card coming, and there's also, this will get you onto a scheme, NAPIT or NIC scheme, for your domestic installer status. Okay, there will also be, I'm not supposed to tell you, but I think it's pretty much sewn up now. There will also be later on a bridging units you can do to further your career, whereby you can do a little bit extra after you've finished, and you can upgrade your qualification to the full scope NVQ if you desire to. Also, you have to do this qualification before you do your AM2. So you finish this qualification, get your AM2, and to finish this qualification, you will need to do your AM2, and you will need to do your you will need to do your 2391 and your 18th edition. Then finish the qualification, do your AM2, and you have 24 months from start to finish to do the NVQ, and then you've got I think it's up to 5 years after the NVQ is finished to do your AM2, but you must get your 2391 and your level 3 inspection and testing, I should say. Level 3 inspection and testing, EAL, 2391 City and Guilds, an 18th edition before you finish the course. Very important. Okay, so I hope that's been helpful. Thank you very much, and I hope to be speaking to a lot of you soon and getting you through this NVQ. Assessment-wise, I think it's going to be really good fun. All right, so cheers, guys.